What's up, Weez? With the PS5 Pro recently announced and on the way, it's kind of time I wanted to look at and discuss with y'all kind of how the 8th and ninth generations are going through their different tides. The PS4 had their run, and then they had their PS4 Pro to introduce kind of this new half generation, really. And the PS5 Pro is kind of going to do that same thing, but it feels a little necessary in a way, because when the PS4 Pro came out, it introduced, some games to come out with it to kind of use that extra power that was in there. And with the PS5 Pro, they really haven't shown us anything to use for that extra power or to even warrant that kind of price for it. So I kind of wanted to look at the 8th and ninth generation of consoles to see really in between what PlayStation has done to maybe even have the idea to do this kind of thing, because the exclusive games for these consoles are kind of what drove it to be as popular as it was. So I kind of want to see what we're pitting things up against to be able to do something like that. Because when you look at the PS4 games, and I brought up 7 games, and I think I brought up 7 games for the PS5 as well. When you look at the PS4, there's, big hitters, but a lot of things with the big hitters is that they have later either gone to multi-platforms like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us. They all went to PC eventually, or they all got remasters. Like Spider-Man 1, the launching game for the PS4 Pro, got remastered on the PS5 a few years later when the PS5 released. Ghost of Tsushima went to PC, God of War went to PC, Last of Us went to PC. Not even just went to PC. Last of Us 1 and 2 got remasters and went to PC. And Last of Us 2 was a big hitter for the PS4. And so just to get a remaster kind of makes it feel weird to even call it a console exclusive. And exclusivity is kind of the buzzword that we look at when we're looking at consoles, because the main argument right now is that PS5 has no games really. And it's not really the fact that it has no games. I would say that it has no exclusive games. So I think the only things running exclusive for PS5 are things like Astrobot that just recently came out. I haven't played it, but I heard it's an amazing platformer with a bunch of homages to other Sony titles that they haven't released. Demon Souls, technically a remake, but like a ground up remake of a PS3 game. And who knows, that might even come to PC. I'm not even sure if it's on PC. So that's another one right there. Spider-Man 2, I believe, is already on PC. I think Returnal went to PC. Stellar Blade is multi-platform, but I don't think it's on Xbox. I think it's PC and PlayStation exclusive. There's this weird thing going on with these games, and it's happening sometimes with Xbox as well, where they release a quote-unquote exclusive game, but it's also available on PC at the same time. So it kind of just throws away that console exclusivity title, because a lot of these people, or a lot of deep in gamers now, have either one of the consoles and a PC. They'll either have a PlayStation and a PC, or an Xbox and a PC. It's kind of this weird thing where these games don't feel super exclusive anymore, so the console is kind of fading out, and the PC is rising up once again. If you were around in maybe Modern Warfare 2 times, 2010, 2011, where PC Master Race was the whole like argument for every time there was a console war. And that was a big console war because that was PS4 and Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360. That was the big like console war era. And PC is kind of coming out on top, being the silent victor a lot. And maybe, I don't know if PlayStation needs to return to doing a bunch of exclusives, but it wouldn't hurt, because things like Final Fantasy 16 was a huge exclusive PlayStation game, but it was only timed exclusive. It just came out on PC a couple months ago. And on PS4, one of the hugest ones is Vanilla Persona 5, only released on PlayStation. They had to wait a few years until Royal came out to get the Persona 5 experience on Xbox, PlayStation. I think it even came out on Switch. But there's little to no incentive for any of these, because when we look at the PS4, the big incentive, going back to the Pro versions of the consoles, the biggest incentive for the PS4 Pro was Spider-Man releasing, the first Marvel Spider-Man releasing, and it was this huge game. It had like seamless loading. God of War had seamless loading. These are games coming out at the same time, and they were just huge, massive games that wanted that extra power the PS4 had, so they were pushing it, and it was only $100 more. You got to think about that part. So to be a $500 console, to have all these new games coming out that are going to push it to the limits, even though it's already a stronger console, is a really big incentive to be wanting to get these new consoles. And it's not even a brand new generation of console. PS5 Pro has done nothing to earn the thought even of getting the upgraded version. And the part that sucks with this is the only way they sell you is with these numbers. They do, what is it, like 45% GPU processing, 50% loading times and stuff like that. People don't know what those numbers mean when you say 50% and 45%. That's not an easy number to show. It's so much easier to show a game that is coming out that looks way better on a PS5 Pro than it does a PS5. And I know what a lot of people are thinking is, this is the push for GTA 6. They needed a stronger console for GTA 6, but then a lot of people will just get GTA 6 on a PC. And the part that sucks is this is how they're going to get you is, I believe GTA 6 is on like an 8-month delay for the PC release, which is insane. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to push the console sale first to get the GTA sales up. But I just don't think they've earned that, because they've shown, I think for the PS5 Pro release, they showed Last of Us. I think they showed The Last of Us 1 remastered or The Last of Us 2 remastered, and it just doesn't, there's no noticeable upgrade. There's nothing, you know, in the fidelity. There's nothing in, like, the 60 frames a second didn't really, like, look too noticeable, the stability of it. And I just think they should have waited a little longer to have a game to show. Like Phantom Blade Zero is supposed to come out next year as well, isn't it? So why didn't they wait until next year to show it with Phantom Blade Zero gameplay, to show it with GTA 6 gameplay? You know how crazy the PS5 Pro would have looked popularity wise if it launched with GTA 6 gameplay? That would have turned the tides heavy. But also the way they're selling it is just terrible. You know, it being a $700 console that really needs add-ons that make it like $800, $850 is also just a horrible marketing plan. But the people who don't care about that stuff are going to buy it, so you can't really... Boycotting with your wallet is much harder when people with dumb money can just throw it away. So they're going to sell PS5 Pros like crazy either way, no matter what. But I just wish they dropped it with something meaningful. You know, it feels like exclusivity isn't really a thing anymore. So they're trying to push for this better console debate again. They're trying to push the console war again, and it's not really working when they're not having anything to show for it. And that's the reason we need exclusives. That's the reason they need to be able to push something like that. And that's kind of what I'm missing, because exclusives really drove this home. And I really just want, you know, some incentive back. It feels like we're just throwing things out because they know people are going to buy them now. And that's the part that sucks. But I just kind of want to get those thoughts out, get that comparison out, because we're close. I think the PS5 Pro comes out in November. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough month when that happens, but I will catch you guys in the next video.